Hello again, this is Bad Barry's Bar. I'm Bad Barry and this is Bad Barry's Bar. Glad you could join me this morning. Hope you're ready for another laugh. Well, today I'm going to talk about the police. Now, you know the police have come under a lot of pressure, in some cases rightfully so, but by and large most of the cops that I've met have been pretty decent people. They're out there to help us and to keep us safe from crime. So, you know, be a little bit respectful when you see a policeman. Unless he's given you a ticket, of course, then you have every right to feel a little bit differently about them. And I should know about that. Well, today we're going to talk about police, as I've said. So let me tell you a couple of stories that will, I hope, illustrate the power of the police force and what they do. Now, the first story, 1 o'clock in the morning, and a cop's sitting in his car at the side of the road watching what's going on, when all of a sudden down the road comes a car, and this car is just weaving backwards and forwards slowly, and the cop thought, ha, drunk driver. So he pulled out on with the old blue lights, pulled the guy over. So he got out the car, he walked round to the guy, he said, have you been drinking, sir? And the guy said, well, just a little bit, officer, not very much. And the officer said, it's nearly 1 o'clock in the morning. What are you doing at 1 o'clock in the morning out driving? And the guy said, well, he said, to be honest, officer, he said, I'm going to a lecture. And the officer said, you're going to a lecture at 1 o'clock in the morning? What's the lecture about? He said, oh, it's about drinking at night and staying out late. He said, that's what it's all about. And the officer said, who's giving this lecture? He said, my wife. Okay, I'm sure some of you have been through that. All right. Now, there's another little story I want to tell you about concerning the police, and this really concerns another elderly gentleman. He made some money in his life, and he was in his second childhood, he was in his 60s, and all his life he wanted to have a sports car. He used to think of himself sitting behind the wheel, he used to watch the motor racing on the television, and his dream was to have a sports car. Well, the day came when he had enough money, and he thought, right, this is it. So one Friday afternoon, in his car, down to the car dealership, and after some haggling he buys himself a beautiful Chevy Corvette. Well, he's on cloud 9, gets in the car, drives off through the town, gets out on the open road and puts his foot down, 70, 75, 80, 85. He thought, this is great, until he saw the old blue lights flashing behind him. So he put his foot down, 90, 95, 100, 110, and he thought, no, I better stop. So he pulled over, stopped. The cop came along behind him. The cop got out, came in and said, do you realise, sir, that you were doing 110 miles an hour? He said, now look, it's 20 past 5 on a Friday afternoon, and I go off duty in 10 minutes, and I don't want the problems of having to write a great long report. So if you've got a reason for speeding like that I've not heard, he said, then maybe we'll forget about this. So the old guy looked at the cop and he said, well, I've got to tell you in all honesty, officer, he said, you know, he said, when I saw those lights behind me, he said, it brought memories back. He said, my wife ran off with a speed cop. He said, and just for a few minutes back there, I thought you were bringing her back. The officer said, have a nice weekend, sir. Well, that's my police stories for today. So don't be annoyed, police. Don't come after me. I'm really an innocent man. All right, folks, thanks for watching. Hope to see you tomorrow, and I'll have another couple of jokes for you. Bye. Keep on laughing.